Battery exhausted, she says. I'm fucking exhausted. Right, we've got a little speedy uppy to do now. We've got to get on with this neck. I've got to get it finished off because I want to put this guitar together and give her a strum with some shit strings on that I don't really care about binning off. What am I going to do? I was prepared a minute ago and then I turned the cameras on and it's all gone to shit. Right, so there's my headpiece that's going on there. She's pretty, she's lovely. We're going to be doing that and I'm going to inlay it into the headstock. Fairly simple stuff. I've also got another template. Right, as you can see here on my guitar, this is the skinnier headstock design. And we've gone for the wider one on this one. So I'm going to make some alterations and basically it's as simple as lining up that outside edge and then just marking those holes. It's not a lot of difference there. Piece of piss. If it goes wrong, we can all have a laugh. She's fucking pretty, isn't she? Didn't film that one. Oh, it's mine. So that's simple. I'm going to do that after the inlay. For the minute, I'm going to get that inlaid and glued in. And it's going to be living, it's going to stay overnight. Then we'll trim it all off nice. And then we'll come back tomorrow, which will be in about 4 seconds after the inlay bit for you. And I'll just glue it in. I'm going to turn it into one giant mashup because ultimately it's boring and people want to know about finishing, and that's what I'm going to include a little bit more of in this video. Anyway, speedy uppy time. I'll see you at the end of it. Enjoy the tunage. Future me, rudely interrupting. Don't forget the raffle is still live. The date is currently July 17th. This finishes start of August. You can get this one for £2.50. It's thousands of pounds worth. 1981 Heritage, the first Heritage release date, burst copy, new Goto tuners to make it look a bit more vintage because the old ones were fucked. Complete refret, no nibs, but absolutely, it's a mung bean of a guitar. Look at it. Links below. Go and do the raffle. I've reminded you. Go and do it. Help it out. Charity. I'm going to show you a bit more finishing as I go. I've got this product here, Aqua Coat. I've sanded this thing fairly well. All right, it needs a little bit of grain filling now. Grain filling is not something I've done a lot of because if you do natural finishes, I like the grain to poke through. But this is a very porous wood. So I've got this stuff here and I'm going to put it on with a cloth. And it's just going to get all in the green. And then we're going to sand it off after. Because I am going to buff this up. I'm doing this because I had a few spots on the George Harrison telly that wouldn't take finish. It was just too porous. So I'm basically trialing all these different finishes now. Just so I can get myself a nice spray, consistent matte finish on bodies. I like shiny tops. We'll be doing a bit of that coming up. I'm gonna have to figure that out sooner or later, ain't I? But this is designed just to fill the porous grain, especially on the end. Got some great colours coming out in it. It's looking lovely. I do like a bit of walnut. Ooh! If you can hear my aircon, I apologise. It's fucking hot in Plymouth at the minute. So I've basically sanded this body up to about 320. I think 240, I don't know, don't quote me on that. After you do this, you've got to sand it again. I like to use a cloth because I can work it in on all different directions. This stuff's quite nice, it's completely clear. And you can just work it in nicely and make sure that you haven't got any lumps and bumps and crap left over. Cool. That's got to dry for about an hour. A little bit less today, it's fucking boiling. It's boiling, have I mentioned that it's really hot? Dry for an hour. And then I'm going to give it another coat and then I'm going to come back and we'll give it a real light sanding off. Maybe 400 grit, maybe 320. We'll get this feeling pucker and then I'm going to dust over it with sanding sealer, chestnut sanding sealer, just a couple of coats on that. And then this particular body, I'm literally going to go over it with a poly satin. Just a couple of coats, nothing that's going to need sanding. We're just going to get a sheen on it, something that looks quite natural. I mean, it's already going balls to the wall color wise, but we'll let that dry in and we'll come back momentarily. Finishing is in, I find it really interesting, but I'm shit at it, and it's fucking boring videos to make. So I'm always conscious of keeping everyone a little bit engaged, because I'm known for being the stupid twat that makes wisecracks. But if I'm honest with you, and I don't mind being honest, finishing is the most stressful part of the job for me. Clear oils, things like that, nice and easy to do, easy. Clear mineral oil, brilliant, excellent, easy product. It gets you a nice finish, but there's a lot more to it. And I want to learn more. I think this channel is more learning from my errors, my mistakes. My journey is yours. It's on my sleeve, isn't it? But sometimes it's a little bit trial and error. Even though I've watched all the sexy videos that you've watched with Brad Angove in it. Right, we'll come back and we'll just give this a little sand in, and then we'll take it down to Fritzl's and I'll show you how I'm just going to give it a quick blast. Not very funny today, Marjorie. Okay, it's an absolute jeffing mess. I've been doing bits and bobs. I've sanded this. It's all looking pretty lovely. We've got all our holes drilled. Everything is ready to rock and roll. I can even hang her up. Beautiful. The products I will be using, do you need to physically see me spray them? I'm not sure you do, to be honest, but I'll show you. I'll show you. People will go, oh, they're crap. This stuff here, acrylic sanding sealer, is brilliant. 15 quid a can, 1 can on a guitar. That'll go on probably 5 or 6 coats, light coats. Give it a sand afterwards and you'll get a lovely smooth finish. This is already quite smooth. I'm gonna go 2 coats to that, just to give her a bit of a love, bit of a tickle. And then I'm going with this here, because I remembered I used this on my number 1, which is still one of my nicest necks I've done. You can mat it, you can do whatever you want. So I'm gonna go with this, plastic coat, clear, dry, quick lacquer stuff. Not so great if you're putting it on top of paint, and if you wanna gloss it up and you wanna shine it, that's crap for that. But to go on wood products, you can get away with a whole different genre of gear. If it's wrong and if it's rubbish, that's fine, because I'll just sand it off again and we'll use something else. It's fine. I'm a little bit ahead. Woohoo! Thank God. So I'm going to go downstairs. I'm not going to B-roll of me spraying stuff. I haven't got a spray booth. It's the most unprofessional I could ever possibly look. But we'll come back and it should be all ready to put together. All right? In case you're wondering, it looks like this. That's what it looks like when I spray paint. There you go. You've seen it. There's no secrets. Fritzl's is not a spray booth, it's for debauchery and punishment. Right, we're at the stage where we're gonna put things together. I've done a few things preliminarily. Of course I have, I always do a few things preliminarily. I've got my control cavity covers on the back. We've got the false one, that one's fixed in. Oh, it's a shit idea. It's a good idea because it's managed to save me a bit of weight. This is going to remain open. I like to see strings and wangy bits, and I think it looks a bit cool. Here's the front. It's looking fucking glorious. Just a little bit of satin. Glistening. Glistening she is. Really happy with that. First port of call, we've got to put these ferrules in. Hopefully that's focusing there. Hopefully that's focusing. Freaky little finger point. We don't trust anyone who points with their little finger. We've got to put our ferrules in. Just in here. There you go, look. It's fucked up, innit? I don't know what's going on up here. I don't know. I do love Emmett's hand though. Love it. I'm going to measure these. I'll run through. A lot of this is going to be speedy uppy, but I'll run through some points that you might want to know. These here, I'm going to measure them. If you're ever going to use ferrules, they're 4.3 mil. If you're ever going to use something on something finished, try it on something else first. I'm thinking it's a 4 mil hole. If you over drill your hole size, you have to glue these in with a bit of CA glue, and that opens you up to a whole other all game of shittery, because if you glue them with CA glue and you put the screw in, it glues the screw in as well. I held back an expletive there because it brought back memories, because I did actually do it. Not a lot of fun. So that one's going to go in there. It should just fall in the hole. We can pop a screw in, make sure you've got a good few threads, and then it should gently tap in. There you go. That's the ferrule fitted, and that's going to give plenty of hold to hold down a humbucker and just squish a little bit of foam to keep it firm. That's the plan. Doesn't have to be over complicated, and you can see how much force is needed to get that out. It's quite a lot. It's more than a bit of foam. There we go. We've got some ferrules in. Now it's just a case of bunging in our humbuckers and they are fitted.
The next morning.
Right, stop the press, wait. Let me turn off Matt Armstrong. I'm going to read out a statement. I've written this down so I don't get it wrong. It's very important. I don't very often write things down because I'm a bit of a mungo, but I've written this down because we need to have a serious word. This guitar is an absolute bust, a complete fail, a shit show, and I cannot send it to the client. It doesn't say that on that bit of paper, but I read it for effect, like Prime Minister's question times. But what I did say, jokes apart, is absolutely true. You've been watching this video. I filmed them quite a while ago. I'm filming this 3 days before the video goes out. It's Wednesday, video's going out Friday. So this part here is new, all right? I said at the start, well, I actually published a few fuck-ups earlier on in the channel, and because basically I had to. I was chasing my tail, I was running another company. I wanted my upload schedule to be important. So I just put everything in the videos, cock-ups and all. And it went down a storm. Everyone likes to watch people that aren't perfect because you are all as fucking stupid as me. Some of you are not. Some of you are more clever. But I do make mistakes. I hit the start line, I get an idea, and I just fucking go like a greyhound chasing a rabbit. And I do make some silly mistakes. Now, I made some design errors with this guitar. We're going to run through them. I feel bad for you lot who watch this week by week and wait 7 days for the next video, but I'm over it myself personally now. We're already moving on. It's fine with the client. We've got something else, and I'm going to show you what's going on. Yeah, I'll just go and get it. It already looks like shit because I've started tarting it around. Right, here we go. Here she is. I'll run through the problems very, very quickly. We'll start with the little teeny tiny ones. I hated the second cavity. It was shit. A couple of people commented, that's a stupid idea, you should have done it another way. And I agree. That alone wasn't the end of the world because it would have been more or less invisible once we put it in. 6x6 headstock with that much meat on it looks weird. Couldn't get my head around that. But again, it was fine. Very functional, feels nice. I didn't round the neck off enough for my liking. So before I sent it out, I would have reshaped that. And because it just feels like it's got a hard edge on it. Again, not the end of the world. The fretwork, the way it looks, all absolutely marvellous. Now, the most embarrassing one. People are asking for an update on the pallet wood guitar. It is coming soon. I made a mistake on that one, and I made the neck cavity extra deep because it was made of underpants and pallet wood. It was shit. I wanted to get enough mass in there to be able to screw it in, and the upper fret access was fucking awful. Now, I have already started recarving this, but if you can imagine, it was here. I couldn't reach the top 2 frets.
What an idiot!
Now, I'd already made that error a year and a half ago, but my brain decided to put that to the back and go, no, you need a little refresher, boy. So I made that, and the upper fret access was just shit. And as soon as I put it together, I thought, fuck. Now again, I've recarved it. You would never know. I actually like the offset carve. I don't think it looks much different. And now the upper fret access, it needs more because I still can't reach the top one. And to get over that on the back, I've had to change it to a 3-bolt design, of which I've made loads. It makes no fucking difference. I've got to recarve the neck and reshape that in, and it's going to look absolutely fine, and it's going to give me a lot better access. That's actually a result that I'm quite happy with. It's quite a cool little design idea, something I might use in the future. I do want to start manipulating body shapes and offsetting stuff. Reverend do look an offset sort of SG thing. I love the look of that. Reverend make lovely guitars. I also hate the drippy ice cream headstock. Looks shit. Now, all of those things could be forgiven, and they're just silly little design issues that some might love and some might hate. However, what did not work at all is a 3x3 headstock and a trem. It just did not work. The tuning stability was absolutely horrific. I had to use, I mean, you can see the holes there. I'm basically gonna laminate this neck and turn it into an angled headstock. If anyone's wondering, I'm keeping this for me. I'm just gonna turn it into a little project guitar. I might take it to the guitar show so people can see the fuck ups and how we got over it. It don't really matter. It did at the time. I was proper pissed off. And I filmed this the day after, and I was still fucking drying my eyes. And yeah, it wasn't good. So that was weeks ago now. I had to put a bar on the headstock so that I could get the brake angle for the strings. String trees on fenders and stuff and that is all very normal. But because you have the additional angle coming away from the nut with that bar and the trem, it was absolutely diabolical. Now I know a lot of you are going to want to put suggestions on how I could have sorted it out and we could have tarted it up. Yeah, I fucked around greasing things and monk nutting and just trying different things and configurations, angles. It wasn't good enough for me to send out to a client. It just wasn't. I wasn't happy with it. So that's why we binned it off. Let's talk about the positives, because the positives still outweigh the negatives, and they're the most important thing about this. Yeah, I figured out I need to do a different access, and I can manipulate the shape of an SG and give it better upper fret access. That's a plus. I'm well up for that. The biggest positive about this is the finish. Now, I know I've sanded this and made it a bit minging and all the rest of it so far, but the products I used, the grain filler and then the sanding sealer and then the satin top coat, came out absolutely perfect. Now, if you've watched the channel for any length of time, let me put that, I don't know why I'm bothering looking after the twat. If you've watched the channel for any length of time, thank you very much for subscribing. Check that you're still subscribed, because YouTube unsubscribes people. And if your comment gets randomly deleted, it wasn't me. Try to be not political. Digressing, Paul. Stop digressing. The finish for me is the most important thing, because I do a lot of this natural wood stuff, and to finally get a finish that I think is absolutely fucking banging and exactly what I want, that's the biggest triumph I've had in months. Brilliant. There's lots of other stuff that I've done. The ring inlays worked beautifully, but I've also now figured out that my laser cutter can do that to real wood. So I can do any fucking inlay I want to do out of opposing timber and create some amazing fretboards. So I found out about that. I've made a new jig. I spent 4 hours doing it today for cutting angled headstocks. Perfect. It works an absolute charm. Better than the other thing that I made that you have to unscrew things and all that sort of stuff. Way better. There's lots of stuff that's happened on this build that I'm really happy with. So lots of triumphs, lots of things to take away from it. Lots of things for you to take away with it. Try and learn from my mistakes. I can't protect you from yourselves. We're all idiots. That's, it's by the by, innit? You can see here, I've actually filled the trem in. I haven't sanded it yet. I've filled this in on the back. That is absolutely solid now. I'm going to be putting a humbucker telly bridge on there, and I'm going to be putting another humbucker in here and moving it up a little bit. So it's going to have the same configuration as my telly, actually, which also needs to be refinished in the same sort of materials. There's a video coming out on this. First guitar I ever made, if you're ever wondering what this is hung up on the wall. Made this at Crimson Guitars. But it does need a refinish, and I want to put it back to black because I don't like the purple anymore. But yeah, it's going to have the same configuration as that in that. So I know it works fine, and it suits me. It does suit me. So I'm sorry about the disappointment. I'll just give you a cheeky preview of where I am. I'm already started making Sammy's replacement, which is a nightmare because it means I've got to make 3 guitars this month. That's a tall order, but we've actually got a way more traditional and classy with a much more expensive bit of Mappa barrel on the cap. Oh, one last little update, because I know everyone's shat their pants about my router fucking bit guide. Incidentally, I found the right combination of bearings, almost the right combination. Good enough for that. I have since found, because that gives you a limited carve, I've since found that trends do a bigger one of these with a point on the bottom with a 1/2 inch shaft. So I will alter it, but you can see in there I've got a collet and 2 bearings. So everyone can stop panicking now, I've got the right gear, but thank you for all your concern. That was just I need to get this done today and get over it sort of thing. And it was fine. If those little woodpecker bearing bushes had failed, it couldn't go anywhere. It was just bearings on a shaft. So, it wasn't going to be catastrophic. I've still got all my fingers, not a problem at all. Thanks for watching, everyone. Like I said, make sure you're subscribed, and in 5 weeks' time, we'll see the update and the new guitar and what I've done to this one, because I'll get all that fixed at the same time. Next week's video is my take, the next series is my take on the Red Special, and the fact that I'm making that has been noticed by some influential people that I'm actually looking forward to meet. So very, very cool, that build. I'm looking at it. It's looking pretty fucking sweet. Lovely. Just so you know, the fretboard for this one is going to be the same sort of dark wood, but traditional Gibson inlays, and I'm going to do them in the Mappa barrel. Because I wanted to make it extra special, and it's going to be a traditional layout and all that sort of stuff. I'm waffling. Come back next week. Dry your eyes. I've already dried mine. You've got to break eggs to have an omelette. That's all I'm going to say. I'm leaving you on that. Special wave. Don't be deflated, and thank you for putting up with my fucking stupidity sometimes. Wanker.
Say.